Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the quiet revolution happening inside pretty much everything that powers our world. From the phone in your hand to the car in your garage, we're diving into the future of battery technology.
I mean, just think about your day so far. That smartphone, your laptop, maybe the electric bus you took to work. What's the one thing they all have in common? Yep, they all run on batteries.
It's true. Batteries have pretty much become the invisible engine of our society. They are absolutely fundamental to our mobile, digital, and, our increasingly electric world.
They're not just these little disposable things anymore. We're talking about everything from the tiniest devices in our pockets to the massive grid-scale storage we need for the energy transition. Batteries have become a huge strategic piece of our future.
Now, for the last 30 years or so, one technology has been the undisputed king: lithium-ion. But like any champion, it's got some weaknesses. Its success is a classic double-edged sword, and that's really the core conflict we're exploring today. And this slide gets right to the heart of that trade-off. On the one hand, lithium-ion batteries are amazing. They pack a ton of power into a small space, they last for ages, and you can charge them up whenever you want without wrecking their capacity. But on the other hand, you've got some real downsides. Pretty serious safety risks, environmental costs, and a big reliance on materials that are hard to get.
And let's break those challenges down a little more. You've got the high cost of raw materials, right? Then there are the very real safety concerns. They can overheat, they also just get old, their performance degrades over time, and they hate extreme temperatures. On top of all that, you have the environmental hit from mining and the fact that all these key materials come from just a handful of places on the globe. So yeah, you can see why the race is on to find something better.
But hold on, before we get to the new contenders, it is so important to appreciate just how far we've already come. I mean, despite all those flaws, the progress with lithium-ion has been absolutely staggering. The cost has dropped by 90% since 2010. That one stat, right there, is basically what made the entire EV revolution possible in the first place.
So, the first big revolution isn't really about replacing lithium-ion. It's about making it better from the inside. Think of it like a family feud, where different chemical makeups are all competing to fix the technology's biggest problems.
And this battle really comes down to two main approaches. In one corner, you have the high-performance stuff, like NMC. That's nickel, manganese, cobalt. These give you incredible power and range, which is why you see them in high-end EVs. But they're expensive and use controversial materials like cobalt. Then, in the other corner, you have LFP, or lithium iron phosphate. These guys are way safer, they last longer, they're cheaper, and they don't use cobalt or nickel. So what's the catch? Well, they have lower energy density, so they're heavier for the same amount of juice.
Okay, but what if we could go beyond just tinkering with the old formula? What if we could fundamentally change the game? Well, the next generation of batteries is arriving, and they are designed from the ground up to solve the very problems we've been talking about. And right now, there are two major challengers stepping into the ring. And look, these aren't just small improvements we're talking about, they represent a totally new way of thinking about how we store energy.
First up, we have solid-state batteries. Now, their big trick is replacing the flammable liquid that's inside a normal battery with a solid material. It sounds simple, but that one change is a game changer. It basically eliminates the risk of fire, lets you build a smaller, lighter battery, and promises to pack in way more energy. This is the new powerhouse.
And our second challenger? The sodium-ion battery. The big idea here is just brilliant. Replace expensive, rare lithium with one of the most abundant and cheap materials on the planet, sodium. From salt, from the ocean. Now, they don't pack the same punch as lithium-ion, but they are a much cheaper, safer, and more sustainable option for things that don't need to be super lightweight.
And trust me, the innovation does not stop there. Researchers are working on some truly mind-bending concepts. Lithium-sulfur batteries for even more power. Lithium-air batteries that literally breathe oxygen to work. Bio-batteries made from plant materials. And get this, self-healing batteries that can actually repair themselves. The pipeline of new ideas is just incredible.
So what does this all mean for us? For our future? Which battery is going to win? Well, you know what? That might be the wrong question to be asking.
Because here's the key takeaway, the most important thing to remember. The future of energy storage isn't a monarchy. It's not about finding one single winner. It's about building a whole portfolio of technologies where we use the right battery for the right task.
And you can already see how this is going to play out in the real world.
You'll have those powerhouse solid-state batteries in things like long-haul electric trucks and high-performance cars, where every single mile of range counts. And at the same time, you'll see affordable, sustainable sodium-ion batteries storing solar power for your house or powering small, efficient city cars. Different jobs, different tools. Simple as that.
Staffen Lundgren over at Volvo Trucks put it perfectly. He said every single improvement, doesn't matter if it's performance, price, or reliability, every little bit pushes us faster towards a clean, electric future. The innovation here is directly fueling the energy transition.
So the question isn't if battery tech is going to change, but how fast and in how many amazing directions it's going to go. With costs just plummeting and all these new chemistries about to hit the market, it really feels less like a simple upgrade and more like a complete revolution is underway. The next decade is going to be, well, electrifying.